You know, the Bible talks about blessed is the man whose quiver is full of arrows. And I see the kids, I have a full quiver. You know, I always envision having a hoop team. You know, I have it. I have a sub. And so I think the most rewarding piece is just hearing, being called daddy, and being able to kind of love and provide for them, and then just watching them grow and experience life. My dad died when I was 3, and so I was raised what I would say in a matriarchal environment. You know, a lot of strong black women, and um, and in the community I grew up in, not that role models weren't there, but I had to really seek them out, and I feel blessed that God sent a variety of different things. Showing my uncle, who was a real strong work ethic, and then I had a mentor during my middle school years that really came in and showed me how to be responsible and how to make some of those connections as I transitioned into high school. And even once I was in high school and making that transition to college, I then met some additional men that were godly, had wisdom, and men of integrity to kind of help me make that transition into manhood. I remember when the schools were integrated in '72, we had the white flight, and one of the things that I think was kind of pivotal for me was education was always stressed, as a way out, in terms of improvement. Knowledge is something that people can't take from you. They can take all your worldly possession, but once you have it here, no one can get it. And I often tell my mom and other people that when I look at it, you think that it was a deprived environment, but it was such a rich experience that it provided a great foundation for me, and I think it's one of the main reasons that I've been as successful as I have thus far. It gave me a framework for around personal integrity, around how to treat people, how to be respectful, how to go out and earn an honest dollar. And I had friends where their parents were both in the household, but it wasn't a healthy environment, and they didn't get the kind of structure and that they needed. And the ones that aren't dead are incarcerated, and the ones that aren't incarcerated are on drugs. And for the few that are healthy, functioning adults, I would say that they experienced the same thing I had. They had a strong mama, they kind of when daddy was wasn't on his post, so to speak, that she filled the shoes and made sure things ran well. So the challenging piece is not having not growing up in an environment. I see a dad as being one of those persons that you can sit at his feet, and you don't have to put on a whole bunch of air about who you are. You can be kind of naked and not ashamed, and just be who you are, and just kind of glean some of the wisdom about life. Maybe some of your fears, some of your greatest aspirations you want to. And then just be encouraged, because if you put on a lot of airs to be somebody that you're not, then you're not getting everything that you need so that you can be successful. Challenging part for me is having to connect the pieces for my kids. Anthony, Christian, and Kadeem, in terms of males, making sure that I'm not domineering. That I'm not afraid to cry, that I can communicate, that I'm giving them an example for how to treat their wives. For my daughters, it's being available, emotionally available, being strong, but also giving them an example for what to look for um, in a husband, a potential husband. So with my girls, I really have tried to kind of nail it into their head. Uh, don't get enamored by the little boy that's going to go out and take you to dinner, or buy you a little cheap gold, and you know, there's more to it, and so for them to develop some wisdom and understanding around um, just life. I think my highest calling, higher than my profession, anything, was being a husband and a father, and to have a failed marriage. It was a kind of devastating blow, um, because not only did I lose a relationship, the context in which I was daddy was within the family, and having to figure out, how do I still be daddy? And it was I realized shortly into the separation that I was still daddy. We were two separate households, and I really strive to take any of the animosity and anger and emotion part out, and deal with the fact that we had kids together, and that it was for their best interest as well as ours that we get on the same page quickly if we wanted healthy kids. And so uh, uh, I can say it was all me just because of my attitude, but it was a mutual effort. And today I think we're doing a fairly good job of co-parenting kids from separate households, because ultimately we still got to embrace the same values. We got to have the same set of expectations and standards, um, and then we still have to talk. you know, I think for me, I probably would have pursued uh, jobs with greater responsibility, but the biggest fear was that I wasn't going to be able to go to the baseball game or the soccer game, or to just be able to come home and spend a little time kicking around in the yard with the kids. And it's a wonderful experience to kind of just have those moments. And the kids are now a little older, Alexis, Anthony, and Christina, and we laugh about some of those early years when I didn't know what I was doing, and I was still trying to figure it out. And I'm still trying to figure it out. And the thing I tell my kids now is it's really important to know your history, because you need to know where you come from. There's a lot of people walking around here thinking, because they're driving the Escalades and the bling blings, and that we've arrived. We have not arrived. In some ways, things are worse because we've been placated to believe that things are better, and they really aren't. They're the same as they were before. Yeah, we got access. We got some doctors, some lawyers, firemen. We have construction workers. We have some access to services and things that we didn't have, that was difficult for us in the past. But we still got a long way to go. And as we get hooked up in this, that's the worst thing I see, is a young black man walking around with sagging in his pants, even though it's fashionable. That's a rebellion. Pants were not designed to be worn on your butt. They're supposed to be up on your waist. And so learn how to carry yourself. And I tell especially my boys, that you got to carry yourself. They're already expecting you to be less than. You're going to be nice, but, they figure you're going to be nice because, you get raised right. But beyond that, they don't expect you to be smart and capable and functional and responsible. They want you to be out here hooking and crooking, and then they can say, yeah, just like I thought, chasing women. And it's really important not to get hooked into that. And so history, extremely important.